Hello, welcome back to my studio. Recently I posted a video about mixing color for beach sand and water and things like that, and quite a lot of you found that very useful. I thought I'd do a follow-up to that and show you how I paint a quick study of one of those scenes I used in that video. So you'll be able to see more or less how I go about mixing the colors and applying those colors to what really is a block-in of the painting scene. And I want you also to feel confident when approaching any subject, how to mix that color. So the two videos should work together and help you perhaps approach any subject of your choice with a method to finding the right color. Right, so I'm going to roughly draw out the composition, very simple, just using a bit of ultramarine blue and a bit of white spirits to loosen it up. So I'll just speed through this. There's really not much in the composition. And I'm going to start off with the beach color, using yellow ochre, titanium white, and then maybe a little bit of cerulean blue in there. So always test. If you test the color against your subject, you'll get the value, that's the lightness or darkness, very close, and you'll also get the color temperature, whether it should be warmer or cooler. Now it's quite easy to do this with a photograph. Of course, you could even cover the photograph with cling film and just touch the paint on the cling film so you don't ruin the photograph. You could make little swatches where you put some paint on a piece of card or paper and hold that close up to your reference as well, and just compare. Squint a little. If you see that your mixed color kind of disappears when held against the color of the subject, then you know you are pretty darn close, and you may not need to get any closer than that. You don't have to be scientifically accurate. You just got to get it as close as is reasonable to represent the subject accurately. And you decide. Ultimately, it's you that must decide if the color has got to be warmer, cooler, how accurate it must be, and so on. Maybe you want to make the lights a bit lighter or saturate the color a bit more and make it warmer, because that's the idea for the painting you have in mind. So only by knowing how to get color accurate can you then make informed decisions about how much you want to manipulate that color and push it in whatever direction you want to go. So here I'm using quite a lot of alizarin, some blue, some white, and the local color being the yellow ochre, to get that sort of darkish, pinkish, wet sand look along the line of the wave as it's receded over the sand. And just a bit of red light to warm it up in the foreground. So always ask, is the color going to be lighter, darker, warmer, or cooler? And by asking yourself that question, you're forced to consider the color mix more objectively. So now I'm going to mix a blue, which is mostly the sky reflected into the very shallow water, wet sand. Now the photograph does misrepresent the color. Unfortunately, that is the fact, or rather the printing process. And that, unfortunately, is the problem with using photographic prints. The printer color may not be accurate, and you get these variations. Ultimately, the best source of accurate color is being outdoors and looking at the scene with your own eyes. So I'm mixing enough paint that should be able to get me across the wet sand. From a little bit of red light in there as well. And you may see it slightly differently. As I said, you've got to make that decision because you are the artist. And if it's a slight bit of warmth you see in the foreground, you would add a warm color to it. It could be yellow, it could be red light. Now in the distance here it's cooler, so there'll be a bit more white and blue involved. White, of course, is a very cool hue, and if you're going to use white, you're not only going to make the color lighter, you're going to make it cooler. If you need it warmer, you've got to throw some warm color back into it. And now this sort of maroonish color for the wet sand, where the reflection of the sky is not really coming through, and we're seeing a darker sand color coming through. Now very often I will push the colors, and by that I mean try and maybe make them stand out a bit more, saturate them a little more, increase the warmth. It all depends, and especially in a beach scene like this on a sunny day, I tend to push the colors a little more where they are warmer, and then the cool colors of the water I might make them look cooler still, and I get that contrast that can be quite pleasing to the eye. Now I'm just manipulating shapes and getting them a little more accurate. So some shapes need to be increased in size. The sky reflection in the wet sand, that just needs to be made a bit bigger. And you'll see that when you follow this process, you start getting more confidence in your own vision for the painting, and the reference becomes less important. It becomes simply a guide. I mixed up a bit of darker watercolor. I say the color of the water, I should say. Cerulean blue, a bit of alizarin. And now I'm going to put in some of those rocks. There's quite a lot of rocks in the reference, and they add a bit of dimension and some darker shapes too. So looking at the direction of the light, there's a shadow on the right hand side of these rocks, and then a little highlight, mostly using burnt sienna, a bit of yellow ochre, and ultramarine blue for the shadow side of the rocks. The variation of size as well, very important. So once those are in place, the painting gets a bit more interesting. There's not really too much in the line of subject matter, and the colors are pretty much of a similar value. So nothing too dramatic. It's quite a peaceful scene, very close up, obviously. So you may just have to add in a few little extra features. Here using white, slightly mixed in with the other colors, the blue and alizarin. It's not white straight out the tube. And that contrasts nicely with the darker rocks, and just getting a bit of water sparkle. Now I also want some texture in the foreground of the sand. So I'm going to use a variety of devices, adding some white for some lighter marks in the sand, and then a few darker shapes and so on. Now a sort of similar process going over with a subsequent layer now, more or less a final layer, slightly thicker paint, and getting that reflection working quite well now. It's starting to really get a sort of a lifelike appearance. And that will happen if you just stick to describing the shapes as far as the color and lightness or darkness of the shape is concerned. You're going to get a painting that reads correctly, that looks sufficiently real, but has got enough of your self-expression as well. Using a scumbling technique, just dragging quite a lot of paint gently over the surface. This works very nicely wet over slightly dry paint, but this is obviously wet into wet, so not quite as scumbled as you may want, but enough to give that suggestion of sparkle. Now sort of manipulating the size of these shapes and edges, slightly softer edges in the distance, and a few more rocks and etc. in the foreground to add interest and texture and to sort of lead the eye along the painting. Now this is obviously a very quick study, and you can refine it and go further and make it even more realistic, but the color scheme and arrangement will remain pretty much the same. Let's get the tape off and just have a closer look at the final result. Well, I hope this has helped you and given you a few tips and ideas that you can apply to your own color mixing. And these tips will really apply not just to oils, but also acrylics and other opaque mediums like gouache as well. Now, if you want to go into this in greater detail and find out more about color mixing, I have a number of courses available. You can find them on my website. Just go to painting courses and there may be something suitable. And there's also a free course to help you get started with getting the values sorted out in your color mixing. If you found this useful or you just enjoyed watching it, please give it a like, share it would be fantastic. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and you'll be notified of the next video as well. So enjoy your painting and color mixing. Until next time, cheers for now.